Once upon a time on the vast African savanna, there lived a troop of baboons. One of them, a young male, was known throughout the troop for being rather lazy and spending most of his days lounging around, napping, and generally doing little to help the troop. But the baboon didn't mind. He knew that with his troopmates looking after him, he would survive. Life went on like this, until one day, the baboon woke up feeling sick. His head pounded, and despite having eaten plenty the day before, his stomach felt empty and queasy. Feeling weak, he decided to stay behind as his troop went out to forage, thinking rest would cure his ailments. Now, it happened that there hadn't been rain for quite some time, and the weather had grown hot, so hot that it parched the land, leaving the once fertile ground dry and cracked. Many animals began to suffer. Water holes dried up and the nutritious fruit and vegetables that baboons needed became scarce. This made food almost impossible to find, and soon the lazy baboon found himself suffering from hunger and thirst, pangs so intense that they drove him far from his home territory in search of food and water. He walked and walked until he saw something in the distance, a lone acacia tree with leaves still fresh and new, hopeful that it could bear fruit. He lumbered on, only to be disheartened when he realized that the tree had no pods whatsoever. But then his eyes fell on a bush nearby. He couldn't make out what it was from afar, but now, close up, he could see that it was covered in thorns. But beneath those thorns were tiny, hard green balls. He recognized them immediately, green pods of the veg. Despite their unpleasant exterior, these pods were a good source of protein and fat, and the baboon knew they would restore his strength. So he sat down and started eating. As he ate, he kept glancing over his shoulder, on edge due to his thirst and weakness. Just as he finished the last pod, he noticed a large splash in the nearby riverbed. Though it was completely dry, this couldn't possibly mean water. He thought it must be a crocodile, swimming underwater, or perhaps a large mammal, drinking from an underground spring. But, whatever it was, it got him thinking about water. He was thirsty again and wondered if there was water anywhere nearby. He started walking again and soon came across a narrow gorge between two rocky hills. Inside the gorge, the terrain was uneven and difficult to traverse, but at the bottom, much to the baboon's surprise, he found water. He quickly lapped it up and felt his strength returning. Now feeling much better, he was about to leave the gorge when he heard a loud crashing sound and froze in fear. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a leopard slink out of the bushes. It was lean and muscular, with golden eyes that glinted in the sunlight. Its fur was the color of dry leaves and it moved with the grace and power that leopards are famous for. The leopard had seen the baboon while he was drinking and decided to hunt him. The baboon wanted to run, but he was tired from his ordeal and the gorge was very narrow. There was no room to maneuver. He knew that if he tried to escape, the leopard would simply catch up with him in no time. Thinking fast, the baboon did something he never did back with his troop, and that was to stand his ground and fight. The leopard, surprised by the baboon's sudden aggression, paused. It hadn't expected the baboon to put up a fight, and it momentarily considered giving up the chase. But hunger drove it forward, and with a burst of speed, it pounced on the baboon. The baboon screamed loudly, expecting the worst, but the leopard's paw swipe just grazed him. He had never fought back when other predators attacked him, and had always relied on his troopmates to protect him. This time, however, he had no choice but to defend himself. With a swift kick of his hind legs, the baboon hit the leopard in the chest. The big cat stumbled backward, momentarily stunned. In that split second, the baboon lunged forward. Though his teeth weren't as sharp as the leopard's, nor were his claws as deadly. He managed to latch onto the leopard's face, biting and clawing furiously. The leopard howled in pain and anger, trying to shake off the baboon, who clung on for dear life. But the leopard was stronger and eventually managed to break free. As the leopard prepared for another attack, suddenly it heard a cat. Out of the corner of its eye, it saw a jackal approaching, sniffing the air. It had followed the sounds of the struggle and hoped to steal the leopard's prey. The leopard, annoyed by this unwelcome interruption, turned its attention to the jackal, growling fiercely. The jackal, though small and nimble, knew it couldn't win a fight against either the leopard or the baboon. For a moment, it hesitated, unsure what to do next. The baboon, seeing his opportunity, gathered all his strength and launched himself at the leopard. Once again, the leopard, distracted by the jackal, was caught off guard and was forced to flee. The baboon had won, but his victory was short-lived. As the leopard disappeared into the bushes, the jackal struck. It darted forward and bit the baboon's flank. The baboon howled in pain and struggled to free himself from the jackal's grip. The two animals grappled on the ground, each trying to get the upper hand. It seemed like the jackal might actually manage to pull off the surprise attack. But then the baboon remembered his troopmates. They were strong and would defend him if needed. With a sudden surge of adrenaline, he kicked out, catching the jackal off guard. The jackal yelped and scrambled away. Shaking and exhausted, the baboon looked around. The leopard was gone. The jackal had disappeared into the bushes and the commotion had scared away any other potential predators. Relief washed over him and he collapsed onto the ground. His body ached and his vision blurred. but he was alive. Slowly, the baboon made his way back to the troop. They welcomed him back, grooming him and sharing food with him until he was strong enough to forage on his own again. The baboon never forgot his brush with death. He learned that sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, and that even the smallest creature can be strong and brave. And so the baboon continued to live with his troop, always ready to defend himself and always remembering the valuable lesson he learned in the gorge. The baboon story is a reminder that sometimes you have to fight back. No matter how afraid you are, standing up for yourself can lead to unexpected strength. Being brave doesn't mean you never feel scared. It means you do something even when you are scared. And that's what the baboon did. He faced two dangerous predators without giving up. He didn't have a troop to save him this time, but he had something even more powerful: his inner strength. He chose to be brave instead of running away, and that made all the difference. Now it's your turn. What would you have done if you were the baboon? Would you have fought or tried to run away? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Every baboon has a story to tell. Every baboon has a story to tell.